Hello, I'm Andy, and today I want to give a recap on my tournament, or the GD Titans tournament I participated in. So I will explain my thought process of going into the games and what my grand strategy was and what I think went right, or especially what went wrong if I end up not winning. And yeah, so the first game I had. So I will be skipping mostly through the games because I don't want to make the videos longer than they should be. And yeah, in the background we have Age of Mythology music, at least for now. Maybe sometimes I will use some other music. Okay, so anyway, but this time I'm playing against a sturdy table, otherwise known as Daniel. Daniel is a very good player. He's a very good 3D player, and I think there's quite a skill gap between us. So I think I paused there. So my thought process, okay, I need to do something different. A straight up fight I will probably lose, so I want to be aggressive and I want to see if I can surprise him and maybe get an edge this way, get a good position and carry it home basically. For this reason I picked Ottoman. Ottoman are a C tier civilization, or most people wouldn't rate them too highly. I personally like them. I think they are not as bad as people think, but I can see where they are coming from. So Ottoman, the main drawbacks of Ottoman is that you only have, or that you're missing a coin card. So there are 3 estate coin cards. They only have access to 1, and yeah, so their economy is lacking. That's the second thing is that they don't have fencing school, so their infantry will train very slowly, especially the native infantry. The Janissaries get some chain time with this card, so that's not as bad. Yeah, I think mainly those 2 cards are lacking for Ottoman. With those 2 cards, Ottoman would be a top tier civilization in my opinion. So H3 coin card and fencing school. I don't think H1 coin card is too important since you have capitalism and it gives you around the same benefit as H1 coin card. Most people don't understand this, but it's essentially the case. Until you have like 50 villagers, then H1 coin card is better. But anyway, so let's quickly talk about the strategy I'm going for with Ottoman. So I'm going for 2 TC wagons in my deck, which means I can get 5 TCs. This means my boom will be faster. Ottoman also automatically train villagers. So yeah, so it's just you're just getting to 99 villagers really fast that way. And the other thing I'm going for is I'm going for the Sublime Porte, which means I'm gathering a lot of food and transforming it into wood. So you see me put up a lot of farms or mills, and then at some point, once I trade it, I will put up estates. And yeah, so the reason I go for 2 covered wagons is I want to do a will delete. So the idea is Ottoman get villagers for free, so I can afford to just delete or a good chunk of my villagers. They will train back automatically with 5 TC pretty fast anyway. So in this game I go for 80 will delete, and they are back in like 5 to 10 minutes maximum. So I trade a good part of my economy for a hopefully good starting position. And yeah, so let's see how that works out. But let's quickly talk about Daniel and his civilization. So he's going for Portuguese. Portuguese is just an overall very strong civilization, so their key features are that their mortars do have more range, they have very strong infantry, they do have the best goons in the game with extra range, and they are overall not lacking much. Like, they do have great economy with all the cards you want to have. I mean, the only card they are maybe missing is the H1 mill card, but in exchange they do have a mill upgrade in with their church, advanced church technologies. Another thing is that they do have explorers, so you have an extra explorer and an extra war dog, so you can, what ends up happening in super late game, you put a TC here and then you just ransom your explorer with 3k HP and suicide him into the battle and put him on cannons. So that's also a very strong point of Portuguese. So overall, just a very strong civilization, very rounded, I would say, with not too many glaring weaknesses. Like Ottoman does have a weaker economy, for example. They don't have it, so it's just, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to pause the video for a bit until we reach the interesting parts. Okay, so welcome back. So I think it gets interesting now. So what happened here? I warred in this explorer. So technically I won the game because the rules are half map, no military past half map, and I warred this explorer in, which is allowed. So technically I won. But of course it's we're playing it out normally. So why did I do it? I think I thought it would hurt him more than it actually did. So usually you use your explorer to build these trading posts, and if it's in my base then he can't do that and he needs to switch it up, and later he can't use it to suicide. But in hindsight he spotted all, so I don't know if it's the best decision. So if I would have walled in here, then I think it's a good decision. So he's stuck here somewhere and walks around here, but now he can just go here and even just press down my factory if he wants to, and kills it after like 20 minutes. So yeah, so maybe some more things I'm going for. So I'm going for Imperial Bombards from my factory. I think I overdid it here. My idea is I want to make enough to force him to make Caverns, and then with my will delete I want to make a big swarm of Hussars to just crush the starting fight and run into here, secure the natives, and wall it up, or get a position here, wait until my eco recovered, and then win with 90 more pop. That's basically my game plan here. For this I'm preparing also a lot of units here, so I can walk in here. In this game I have battlefield construction, so all in all I think my early game went decent, so I deleted 80 villagers here. And I'm preparing just my units, so I'm just preparing for the big attack in here, get bases up here, and that's my game plan. So let's see how that pans out. As you can see, my army is just way bigger than his, so this I wouldn't do again. Like, these are the strongest units of me, and I would put them in the main fight here, so they do some work. This flank is actually not important. Also, my Huss should have been more at the front here. At least I slipped through here with my Janissaries, so this is good. And now I need to, like, what should happen here, I should plant a lot of stables here. I should have sent some more Huss here so I can deny these. By the way, he also was forced, because I walled in his explorer, to send another explorer, so I actually think that still worked out well in the end for me, because that's not a card you want to send early. But I really should have, like those Janissaries which went there, those could have also been Huss, and if I sent them straight here, I think I could deny this. But overall, I'm just here too slow to push into. I couldn't deny these bases going up, and he also has these bases going up here. So yeah, I mean I'm busy on this side with these few units and trying to get a flank out, but like literally that's not my game plan. My game plan was to secure this and win the game here. So if I just avoided this flank here completely, put everything here, then I think I would have gotten a better chance. Maybe if I get another trading post here up, or maybe if I secure this trading post, I can start overwhelming here and finish this side off. But yeah, so this didn't work for me, so I thought, okay, let's just try to play it out longer, get a secure position, wall up here, get bases up here. By the way, I'm not using Janissaries to build this, or I think it's better to use Janissaries to build bases here. And now we are in a position, I think, where Daniel is comfortable fighting, and yeah, but I still think like it's not unrecoverable. As you can see, my village has at least half population again, so it's not too bad. So if I play, so let's say against worse players, I still think I can take this game home, but not against Daniel. So yeah, I also need to keep my population up. So I think I just think I didn't play to my best in this game. I had a long work day on that day, so like 10 hours, and I also hit my head a bit, only minorly, only minor, but still, this also was affecting me a bit. So I wasn't playing at my 100%, and if I wanted to take this, I would have to play at my 100%. So he's just going to spam his units and walk over me. I can't even keep my population up. So yeah, this will be a... Yeah, sorry for the Discord notification. I will disable him for the next game. So yeah, so the main problem for me in this game was the bad decision making at the start, and I really couldn't keep my population up. So I think I just played worse than I usually do, or than I do now. So yeah, of course it was a risky strategy, but I think it could have worked. So I still think it's decent. Yeah, main problem is I can't keep my population up. This is just my main problem, and that's why I just lose. I trade worse. I didn't re-macro properly, sent my villagers to coin, so I ran out of coin. And yeah, so what did I learn from this game? So I'm not going to make a comeback here. So from this game I learned I shouldn't focus on flanks with Ottoman, at least at the start fight if I go for a heavy wildy lead. At least not with my strongest units, the Nissams. And should just focus on my strategy I have here and secure the natives. And yeah, I just need to keep my population up. I think 80 wildy lead is too much. If I do it again, like I will do the strategy again, I will just go for 50 villager wildy lead. And this, I think, is the perfect balance between early push or early potential while not sacrificing too many resources. I still think the bombards are good. Yeah, just not well played by me, or well played by Daniel. As expected, he's just the favorite in this game, so he took that. Okay, so I will look for the next game. So okay, the next game was against Matthew, and this was essentially the same game as I'm playing against Rodelero, at least from my strategic decisions. But the game against Rodelero was more interesting, so I'm just going to cover it and give my point of view on what I did here. So first off, I'm playing as Sweden. Why do I play Sweden? In this tournament there are some restrictions on balance, restrictions on civilizations. So Sweden didn't get any of them, so Sweden can be played just as you want them to be. And they are overall a very strong civilization, either way, without restrictions compared to other civilizations. For example, Spain has the restriction you can't send Spanish gold. Oh, I hope this game won't lag because I didn't restart it. Let's find out anyway. So Spanish has restrictions, he can't use Spanish gold, so its economy is worse than normally. And yeah, so I'm picking Sweden, so I like Maskas. That's just the unit composition I feel most comfortable with, and Sweden does have the best Maskas, in my opinion, because their Carolines are just deleting cavalry and are very tanky, and so you have Carolines tanking and deflecting the cav, and you do have above average cannons with case shot, which just destroy any melee infantry or close infantry, and so that's why I like them. So compared to other players, oh man, should I really restart it? Yeah, I think I'm restarting, sorry. Okay, so the next game up is Sweden Andi against Rodelero, so I'm just giving my insights on how I approach this matchup. So there was another game before this against Matthew, but I think so my strategic thoughts are the same for this game as the game for Matthew. So this game is just a lot more close, so I think it's more interesting to cover. And yeah, so I'm playing as Sweden and I'm playing against Spain. So why do I pick Sweden? So Sweden is a very strong civilization. Either way, they have very good musketeers, arguably the best musketeers in the game. They do have above average artillery with engineering school and case shot. Case shot just kills melee infantry. Really, it's really devastating to melee infantry. And they do also have this Kronstadt reforms card, which no one really uses except me. I will talk about this card later in detail. But they do have very strong infantry, very strong cavalry, and they also do have among the best hussars with very high hit points, like 3 HP cards affecting them. So that's why you can go Husk, Musk, Hussar and Artillery, and Sweden are among the best to do this kind of strategy. So yeah, so the boom looks pretty normal. Oh no, first let's talk about Rodelero. So he's playing as Spain. Spain is a very good civilization in focused fights. Because of their missionaries. The missionaries with Unction boost the attack of nearby units. So if you're fighting in one spot, your units are just stronger usually. So that's why they're typically really strong in native fights. And yeah, just our overall really strong civilization. He's using the 300 coin. There's a edge up with Spain Logistician, which immediately gives. So if you send H1 card, you get 150 extra food, 100 extra wood, and 75 extra coin, and all those resources are deposited directly into your bank, and this means their 300 coin is actually 600, which is also deposited directly into your bank, so you don't have to pay attention to it and task a villager to gather it, so it's really strong. In this turn, so usually they also have Spanish gold, which also ships 370 coin with each shipment, so this is on top. He doesn't have it in his deck because it's restricted in this tournament for balance reasons. Yeah, so that's a big blow to Spanish, because otherwise their economy is just... So normally their economy is not the best, or they're average, but with Spanish gold, logistician and H1 shipments, it is above average. So they're very good in choke point fights. They also do have very good melee infantry, so Rodeleros, and they do have Lancers. Lancers do a lot of damage against infantry and can take a lot of range fire, so they are also really good. And yeah, so I still think you can't, like some people say, you can just spam Lancers into your Carolines and you get a good trade there, because they do melee damage and extra damage against Caroline. While Carolines have range resist later with Svea Lifeguard, but I think Carolines do extra damage against cavalry from range. So what ends up happening, so they still need to get in melee range, while all Carolines will fire at them with extra damage. So I think it's at least an even matchup, in my opinion. So yeah. So one other thing, so my idea with Kronstadt reforms was, so your leather cannons only cost 2 population. That means my thought was, okay, I might use leather cannons for split pushing, so I can use like 5 Carolines and 2 leather cannons to be annoying on the map, and it's hard to deal with for most civilization because it's so cost efficient. Leather cannons normally cost 3 population, so reducing it to 2, it's a very big deal. Like, it's a bigger deal if you reduce the population of a 7 population unit to 6 population, then so it's better to reduce a 3 population unit to 2 population than a 6 population unit to 5 population, for example. So that was my idea. And also a nice side effect, I want to use my factory for heavy cannons, because I have the engineering school, which means it's actually the most cost efficient way to, or it's the best, or it's the most efficient way to use your factories basically. If you have engineering school, then they will produce more resources by producing heavy cannons. And you also have heavy cannons which have 28 range compared to normal artillery which only have 26 range. So yeah, I think I overproduced artillery here a bit. And my Huss is maybe a bit late, so I would have loved to have this out here sooner. So usually I send my Huss back here, so I send him at the front at around 50 or something. So when the fight starts, I don't have to task him to do something. I can just let my units fight here and build up stuff. And yeah, that way I can basically get out walls, bases, etc. and replenish my units faster. So it's the way I do it. Okay, so let's see how the fight goes. So he went for caverns, so he tries to snipe my heavy cannons. He's also able to do that just because he with Unction, usually you need three Kyberans to, or 3 Kyberan shots to kill a heavy cannon, but not with Unction. There you only, because the Unction increases the attack of Kyberans, you only need 2 shots, so that's what happened there. And this is what the game will look like for a few more moments. I'm just going to spam Carolines. So he didn't make Rodeleros, so his skirmishes just get cleaned apart. He also sacrifices a lot of missionaries. That means I can get a very good position here. I also start with my leather cannons here. By the way, I should have sent Case Shot, so it increases my damage. And now I could turn my... So the mistake he did, like making skirmishers, that transformed into tempo for me and I could get this position up. And now he can fight in this choke where he's in this choke and I do have the divider angle and I'm not so stuck in as he is, by the way. Also, the walls are going up for me. He's trying to set up some walls. But that's basically not the focus for both of us. We just both want to fight here. Here more heavy cannons coming in now. And this will come down to the Calf Micro. My idea is, if I at least can kill the Kyberans, so this is very annoying that this Kyberan has 10 HP here. If I can keep my heavy cannons alive, they will carry me to victory here, basically. And yeah. So my current trades went good, which means I can push a bit forward, but really it will just... We will just fight here for a good while, as no one can really push the other one. This is a great stable by me, by the way, and this is a huge mistake, like sending 8 Kyberans into their death. I mean, at least he got 1 heavy cannon, but it's obviously not something you want to do. And yeah, so this I will just let speech through this fight because it slows down a lot. If you want to see the cast, Jeagerchere did a cast and it's on his channel. So yeah, so the biggest issue for Rodelero, I think, is he doesn't make Rodeleros. So my Hus do way more than they should. And the biggest issue for me is that I don't take the extra momentum I have, I don't convert it into more. I think I could. So he ran out of wood, he's also running out of coin. So if I'm being decisive, I could just finish the game here. But I'm not trading well enough, or I do make a few too many mistakes to finish it right here. But I still feel comfortable, so I know that he's low on resources because he just slowed down a lot. So I'm comfortable with taking, or with playing this game longer, because I have a feeling that I'm the better player at this point. So one thing which also really hurt me is that I lagged the upgrade for my natives, the champion upgrade. That means my natives are weaker than they should be. Yeah, I mean at this point, like I'm saying, he's so low on resources and I have so many resources, I should be able to push it, but he can keep me in this choke. I tried to get his natives, but I couldn't. He's also making a lot of Kyberans. He's making like 100 coverings. Air chase didn't like the idea, but honestly, if he didn't make as many coverings, I think I could have pushed way earlier. But yeah. So now he's trying to push again. I don't think that's a good decision. I think he should have recovered a bit more resources before pushing. Yeah. So now I again try my leather cannons here and see if they work. Okay, so I think I'm just going to pause it here. Like there will be some fighting here for a good 10 more minutes. I will just let you see that I can push this push back, and then once it becomes interesting, I will unpause again. So here I'm finally managing to get the artillery supremacy again. That means I will trade more efficiently, or I should be able to trade more efficiently if I don't make any more mistakes. I also need to transition to food now, which I do. Yeah, I think also a mistake of me is that I didn't transition enough to food. So yeah, and also a big point is just he's using his natives way better than I do, and that's why slowing down feels also at this point, actually from looking at it, it also feels like I'm losing again. But I think now I stabilized again. He also ate through all of his food buffer very soon. He's also out of wood again, and now I can feel it that he's out of resources, but I still have some resources in the bank. So I'm just going to pause it for a moment here. Okay, so welcome back. So at this point he went through almost all of his food. He's still low on wood and he's low on coin, while I finally transitioned more villagers to food. I don't know if 50 is enough, maybe it is. And I'm just going to play on normal speed for a moment, so you can see how this plays out. So this game is mostly decided, or is taking so long, because, as I said, the natives of him have just more hit points because he has the upgrade. I still didn't research it, which is a huge mistake of me. But other than that, the game is decided by the artillery fights here, and for the most part, I think I'm getting the better deal of it. So he doesn't have horse artillery out for the most time. My coverings generally, I'm producing less, and I'm achieving more with them, so that's very good. And also he's not making Rodeleros, so my hussars are getting really good value. By the way, I don't think it's as big of a deal as Jeagerchere says it is, because for the most part the Minkas are blocking my cavalry, so that happened a lot in this game. Yeah, now I'm kind of out of food, but he's way more out of resources, and it also clearly shows because he can't keep his pop up anymore. I mean, I also don't, but not as bad as him. And I think I figured out now, okay, why am I having so little artillery? I can just spam coverings myself, I have a lot of coin. And just try to stop it here. Oh no, he's using his explorer here to be pesky, and his dogs. Now again. So the way I do cover and micro, by the way, once I get a badge out of 5, I put this one in control group 1, this one in control group 2, and then I just move them one a bit here, one a bit here, and then I try to shoot from the two sides. That's my idea. Like at the moment they're still clumped up together. And I'm not getting the shots I want to. And now finally 1-for-1, again 1-for-1. Which I think it's still good for me, because I still know that I have more resources. I do have still the artillery advantage with my heavy cannons. They are shooting all the time, while he doesn't have any cannons shooting back. So from my point of view, even if I'm not trading evenly on my coverings, as long as my normal cannons are staying alive, I think it's still good. I don't know why the sound is so loud, sorry. Okay, so that's my thought process at least. And now he's still, like, just count as many coverings he's making. He made at least, it feels like he made double the coverings as me, and I still managed to keep up my heavy cannons for a long time. So yeah, now I run out of food again, so I have to go back. But once that recovered, okay, I say I ran out of food. But once that recovers, and I spam a lot of Hus. So I don't think that was a good decision, by the way. Those shouldn't have been Hus, by the way. Those I should have made nuts. Just waited here for my coverings. Waited here for my cannons more. They locked in, so I get another 2, so I got 3 for nothing. He's sending his melee units to snipe them now. I think I can block it though, so they survive. He also misclicked on an infantry unit here. Yeah, and I mean, I could finish it faster, but I just feel comfortable because my resources are still looking good, except food. And I know that his points are going down, so he's losing resources. And eventually I should be able to overcome him. I also start with the covering spam to keep his covering spam in check. And should see some collapsing soon. Because there is no resources in the bank anymore. I can't cover and spam. So now some Hus would be good. I lost my saber here. That's why I can't make Hus here. Oh, this heavy cannon. If this stays alive, this will be very good. Oh no. Because now my Hus come from this side and their melee stuff also comes from this side. So it just feels like my Hus all game went into his Huaminkas, and it's not where your Hus want to be. Again, oh, this could have been a really devastating shot, but now it was only a decent shot. Again, I'm getting 1-for-1. Oh, maybe I get a triple kill now. Now I have 3 heavy cannons again. Here, double kill. And 3 heavy cannons. I should be able to push now. I mean, I say that since 10 minutes. I should be able to close it now. I'm also preparing more coverings because I know there will be 6 coverings popping out anyway soon, so yeah, so my strategy is still just keep my heavies alive, try to get as much damage done with them as possible, and force as many coverings as possible. I think my natives, I should make more natives all game. I think that's the main issue for me. Didn't use natives as much as I should, and I also forgot the champion upgrade. Like, these are the major issues. I think I should have used more artillery, I should have put more on food. So look at how many caverns he's doing. gain. Okay, I'm forwarding a bit. Now I get 2 coverings for 4 or 5 fuzz. It's an okay trade. Maybe I get now the artillery advantage. Again, I do have more artillery now. So I think I finally figured out how to beat him. So now I do have enough artillery. The mortar is coming in here. Do I have in queue? No. I'm at full population, he's not. So I'm shooting here. Oh, that was a very bad shot. I could have maybe even got 2 coverings. But I also get down this trading post with this mortar. Like one more shot, now it's dead. And I realized this, and I'm getting the native post, and I don't think he realizes how big of a deal that is, or that soon becomes. Because otherwise he would make more units to stop it from going up. But gladly he didn't. And now what happens? So what happens now? This goes up. I realize, oh shit, I don't have champion. So I'm just going to get this out. I'm also making the melee infantry. The reason is they have a lot of siege attack. And I want to take down this native post. Because what's really hindering me of Rodelero is natives. So once I win the natives, I should just be able to power through. And that's exactly what's happening here. I get the natives out here, the front is getting too big here, I mean I'm basing here more cannons. But it's not as bad as losing natives. And that's on top of, he doesn't have any resources to stop it basically, so he has to go back. And I think this game is decided finally. So finally, after getting champion native upgrades, this game becomes pretty easy for me, I think. I mean, I could finish it faster, but I think it's better to do it safe than to go all in and stuff. So my idea is I'm just going to make the 92 natives I have and spam a lot more cannons, like 10 caverns and 10 mortars or something, so I do have the infantry advantage because of my natives, and I do have the artillery advantage because I have more. And the only thing I really can spam is Huss as well. So those Huss now are really doing a great job. Because now no Huaminkas are there to stop them anymore. So he's forced to put in musketeers. I think here now it's a good decision to put in Rodeleros. Rods are just better in this situation than musketeers, I think. And I'm just going for the slow, methodical push with more artillery and more natives. And this game is over soon. Yeah, so if you want to see this cast in full and Jeagerchere's thoughts on it, then you can also watch it. I also did try to get up some bases here and split some, but I really didn't put too much attention on it. Maybe I could have done this more. But like I was feeling it, I'm winning the middle side, so no point in making it more fancy than I have to. So with these mortars I could delete those, I even could just destroy this. Then I maybe could have finished faster. So now I'm regrouping for a moment, getting natives out because I lost all. Waiting for my... yeah. As I said, I just don't want to lose. As long as I don't lose this position anymore, I just win. I also did have too many idols in this game. That was also a big issue for me. So the biggest issues were the missing champion upgrades on the natives, the missing or too many idle villagers. And yeah, but other than that, I think I played pretty well. I kept my population up way better than I did against Daniel. I also kind of won the Calf fights. Oh no. Now those heavies raking the kills. Yeah, that's what you want to see. 4 heavies just blasting away infantry. Yeah, and this is over. Okay, so that's it for this game. Sorry for speeding through, but I don't think Rod can do anything anymore against the Rods, against the just more units of natives. So maybe I could have finished this 2 minutes earlier. I also could have taken these trading posts earlier. Yeah. But all in all, I think it was decently played by me. For the most part. Like, the mistakes I had are easy to fix, and I think in the next games I can fix them, so yeah. I think also Rod should have made some more horse artillery. He almost only made cavalryns, and he never had some real artillery in the back. So it feels like he could have traded better than he did. I also traded better against Spain as Sweden, so this also shouldn't happen in my opinion, because of the unction. But all in all, well played by Rodelero. He's also pretty good at this game. And up to the next. Okay, so welcome back. This time I'm playing against Torie. Torie is a Japanese player. She was pretty good, at least that's what they say. And sorry, I'm just going to stop this. So she's a pretty good, or she used to be a very good player in the past. And yeah, she's also decided to participate in this tournament. And this time we are playing a French mirror. So she picked French and I picked French, and this is going to be interesting. So first off, let's talk about my strategic decisions. So I mainly explain the points where I'm not playing meta. So the core idea with French is you want to go to Imperial, get a lot of farms, get around 100k food, then fur trade, so you transform all your food into a higher value of coin. Why is this good? Because food is gathered faster than coin. That's the first thing, and the second is you are transforming 100k food into 125k coin, which is pretty significant, so that's why that's the meta for that. I'm using the Northwestpassage card. This is because it increases the speed of your CDBs. That means they gather all resources faster, because you walk on mills, you walk on estates, just have to look at it. So they sometimes are not gathering because they are walking around, and with this card they are walking around faster. So it ends up being around 5% faster gathering of food at mills, and I think 5 to 10 at estates. And also it increases your rate at natural resources, because they will run around all the time to new hunts or to new coin mines or to trees. Or if you're building stuff, like they're building the walls faster because they spend less time walking. So it's an increase in basically everything. That's why I use it. You also can sneak past your villagers a bit easier. So it's often overlooked, but it's actually a decent economy card. Not as good as economic theory, but still good enough for me. The second thing I'm not having is the Through Breeds card of French. So this card makes your gendarmes cheaper, and with cheaper gendarmes, and it used to be that it also reduces the train time, but with the E it only makes them cheaper by 15%. So that means your gendarmes will cost only around 130 food and coin or something. So why do I skip that? So my idea is I do have to spend one card to do it. And I would rather have natives, because even if I'm using gendarmes, I only have maybe 5 to 10 out, while I will always want to have around 40 natives out. So 10% on these is much more worth it to me than a bit cheaper units, basically. And the second thing is, I'm not fully convinced that gendarmes are the better unit in all circumstances. I know this is controversial, and I know all of those guys playing touch, they still have this nightmare about gendarmes basically wrecking everything from halberdiers to musketeers. But it's not TUT anymore, it's DE, and they got some huge nerfs. And so I think the Hussar is a perfectly viable choice. So there are a few advantages Hussars have over gendarmes. Hussars cost more food. Food is easier for you to get since you gather it faster. And coin is kind of limited for French, because you only have the amount you have from trading. So that's the first thing, they cost only 100 food and 80 coin, so they are more food heavy, basically. You also can insta-chain them on Anders because of the upgrade here, or they are on all maps chain faster, and that can be a big difference. Sometimes you just want to abuse the fact that someone has no anti-cuff at a position and you want to insta-click and get out a huge amount of Hus, and you can't do that with gendarmes. And the other thing is, in my opinion, so the only advantage gendarmes have over hussars is the trample attack. So that means they do area damage. Since I'm not using my... So my idea is, I don't want to use the hussar for attack. I mainly use them to tank and maybe snipe some cannons. In both of these cases, the trample damage does nothing for me. And so I would rather have a bit more HP and a bit faster chain time than having the trample attack. So that's basically my idea. And the other advantage is, of course, I do have one more card, which I can improve my natives, which I'm getting a lot of. So my natives will be, I will have the strongest natives in the game, basically. And yeah, other than that, looks pretty normal to me, if you ask me, the deck. Except those two changes. Oh yeah, and usually I'm a huge fan of playing with unit cards in H4, but because French only do have 2 mortars, 2 falconets, and 2 gendarmes as infinite cards, and I think all of those... So gendarmes I don't even want to upgrade, because I want to make only Hus, and that's why I'm picking 300 wood. So if they would have like skirmishers or culverins, I would use culverins. But in this case, I'm just taking wood, which also helps my natives, so it's kind of okay. And she's playing normally, she doesn't have Northwestpassage. She's using the Thurau breads, whatever that means, and the gendarmes. So yes, you can see in the end they will have a bit more than 1000 HP and 60 attack, while Hussars will have 64 attack and 700 HP or something. So population adjusted, Hussars do also have more HP, so which is a good thing. That's why I'm using that. Okay, so she wants to fight in the middle. I only go on the sides here, or I only do how do I say? Like I only put some units there to bait her to commit fully. I don't really care about the middle. I mean, I have bases outside. I should have upgraded my walls a bit earlier. I think they are on the way. Yes, so no problem here. I do already get bases up inside because I see, okay, I probably lose this. But at what cost? I'm taking the natives. Like if these animations wouldn't suck so bad, this would have been like all those bases would have been dead already. But now there's the stable goes up and 2 barracks, so it's not full disaster for Torie. And if she gets this trading post up, it's also decent, but she doesn't get it up. So I also miss. Like always, I always miss one upgrade. The guard hussar. So bad. Why do I always forget it? Anyways, so I have the guard hussar here. Those units are so good you don't even need the imperial upgrade. And I'm just fully advancing into the natives. I just tell her, yeah, take this take my front base down. Here walls, here gates would be nice. She can also take this. I mean, it would be nice if I would complete those walls, but really, it doesn't matter to me. Once I have the natives, I know there's no point ever. Like if I have natives, and if I manage to just not lose all my economy, I have won anyway. So she can take this down. She even can take those walls down. Maybe I should put in a bit more bases here. But she will also feel the pressure pretty soon, because this push is actually also pretty dangerous, so she has to defend it too, or else I'm forwards, and then into a icon. Let me see, only 4 wards here, and she's also 4 wards, and so I'm basically the same distance in her EQ than she's in mine, and I'm also progressing faster because I have more siege damage, or my units are attacking more. And now I start, once I have these natives, you will see me not use any population except cannons here, and focus a lot more here. So she's getting in here. But once this push ends here, and this push will end eventually, it might not seem like it will end, because he has more units here, or she has more units here. But it will end pretty soon. She still doesn't have an answer, really. She's getting some outposts up. And she's getting some more units, but she doesn't have any bases here. She wants to destroy my bases here. That's actually a good decision. So yeah, I should just send these guys here, delete these parts of the wall, and just walk in and destroy these bases here. But I'm also a bit multitasking here, because at some point I need to defend this. Ah, now finally I got the Imperial upgrade. So yeah, now I would have enough Huss to deal with everything here. But she's also panicking and just moving back. Now I'm using my Hussar, or can use my Hussar, to destroy the artillery. And yeah, focus everything on there. So I kind of lost all my artillery here, which is a bit annoying. And all in all, I think our economies, she has more resources. No, I do have more resources. She spent more, or I do have more coin. But I especially lack the wood, and I think I should transfer more to wood. I also realized this, and I will do that in future games. But then again, I also didn't expect to get natives after 5 minutes, or after 2 minutes rather. You will also see me go back here, so let me regroup here. I don't need to finish it now. I would rather regroup and get some more coin out. So, and not more coin, more wood. So if I have wood to spare, and especially I'm also waiting for my artillery. I do have some idle units here. I should not fight here. This is in hindsight also a bad decision. Like, I'm trading way too bad. I realize this now. I think I was busy dealing with that. I should also rewall here. Yeah, I was dealing on the side pushes for now, because I really like. Yeah, at some point I just need to deal with it, so I need to do it now. But once that's dealt with, and once I get my artillery foundries up back again, so those mortars were a pickle to me. They were really annoying. I also didn't send all the cards. I think I should have sent the engineering school a bit faster. Let's see what haircuts doing. So let's just compare stats. So those hussars do have 672 HP versus the almost 1000. I want to see the stats in the end. I think they get more than 1000 HP in the end. Yeah, but anyway, she doesn't have enough infantry to hold all my Huaminkas. I also hope that I got this upgrade, because I frequently forget all those upgrades. All those native upgrades. But still, now I have the numbers advantage here. And once my artillery kicks in, I don't think there's much she can do anymore. Because she also kind of lost her position here. And she's losing her bases here. So she lost all her momentum on the middle and on the sides. And I'm having all the natives and have the momentum basically in her base. The only saving grace she currently has is that she has some towers here. But once those mortars get there, those towers will be gone. So these are the final stats for Hussars. 720 stats. I'm waiting for gendarmes. And I think, oh yeah, 720 and 64 attack. And they have 1062 HP and 56 attack only. So Hussars are even better at sniping cannons. But HP, I think, pop adjusted, they are actually kind of the same. Like from the gut feeling. Someone would have to do the exact math. 20%. Yeah, but anyway, I just prefer the Huss here. I'm just a Huss fanboy, so I'm doing that. Here, and that's where gendarmes are, or they used to, or in TUT they would just roll over everything here, because those infantry masses, this is where they start to shine. So now you can actually see why gendarmes are a good unit. So once you don't have anti-cav, I should mix in more goons here, and I also should get my Incas in front. But even then, I mean, it might look like he's cleaning up here, but in reality, I'm still pushing. I do have, so my cannons are kind of untouched. My natives are coming back in. I did have enough to stop being cleaned up. So now, once my units come back in, the train will continue basically. So 450 HP on those guys. That's a very high number. 35 attack times 3. So they will just deal with gendarmes basically. I mean, I could have. Like I said, I think I should have mixed in more dragoons. I'm not the biggest fan of dragoons, so that's why Or I wasn't the biggest fan of Dragoons in 3D, but especially if you have natives, they are kind of decent. You also see the difference. So I'm at 70 something K coin and she's at 40k coin. So I can do this a lot longer than she can, basically. And it's partly because I spam Huss instead of gendarmes. Maybe she is also losing more cannons, or producing more cannons. But I think we kind of have the same amount of cannons. So maybe I also chat it later. So yeah. But as I said, I don't think you can come back in a mirror matchup when you don't have any natives, especially if you play against someone whose deck is designed to just abuse the natives, like my deck is. And yeah, I mean the gendarmes, I can still see why people use them. And I'm not saying they're a bad unit, but for what I want to have from my millicav, I'm perfectly happy to use the Huss. And so I'm using the Huss and have better natives. Let's see. Yeah, 128 food and coin it costs. Yeah. So good game to Torie. And this is basically the way I play French. I would say it's pretty not normal, just because I'm not using the gendarmes. I think no player ever uses the Huss, but I make a case for the Huss here. So okay, then let's quickly check the statistics. So we also take a look into this. So my resources are a bit higher. I have way more unspent. My KD was a bit better. Let's just see okay, so no, so we sent basically both send trade at the same time. So yeah, that's the whole difference between Huss and gendarme, I think. So I do have almost double the coin left. If I would have used Huss, I would probably be at around 60k coin. Then of course maybe I would, like, often it was the case that my food was too low, so that's the other argument here. But for the long term, I think Huss are better investment. Okay, so let's quickly see again. Economy, military. And also what's happened, so for some reason I was behind in villagers, I think. I don't know how that happened, but I was behind in villagers for a long time, basically. And I really couldn't catch up. And still what you can see is, even though I was behind in villagers, eventually those graphs close. And this is all because of the Northwestpassage. So you can clearly see that Northwestpassage gives a provable boost to your economy. And as soon as we traded, like, my economy was just better. Even though, just look at the villagers, we had these same villagers basically. So yeah, so this is point proven. Northwestpassage is a good card. Oh, she also didn't replace her villagers, so that was probably also an issue for her. Yeah, but let's quickly analyze what went wrong for me here. Again, I think I forgot the Imperial Huss upgrades. Gladly not for too long. My boom could be a bit better. I think I could have revolted here a bit better. Also, I think I should mix in Huss more, not Huss, goons, and avoid making so many musketeers, especially if I have nets. And other than that, I think I played overall solid. I think I could have pushed faster if I sent my stuff here more aggressive and built the stuff here faster. So that's one point I could improve. Okay, so Okay, so now into this game against Zivearia, however he's pronounced. So this time I'm playing again as the Ottoman and he's playing as the Russian. So let's first introduce or lose a few words about Civ. So he has a lot of GT games and he's very experienced. And he's also one of the best GT players there is. So my thought process was a bit like against Dan, so I think in a straight up fight I'm just going to lose. So maybe I can surprise him, but then again he picked Russia, and even at that moment I kind of knew what was up. So I think he kind of saw my strategy coming. He also said he watched the replay. So that's why he picked Russia. Russia against Ottoman is usually not the best. Like there are better counters for Ottoman. So I think Ottoman can actually beat Russia. Personally, I would favor Ottoman over Russia if the skill level are equal, even a straight up fight. But of course, there are some people who see it different. It's just from my gut feeling. So my idea is again, I want to will delete and get a good part of the map, maybe even get natives, and once I get natives, I think I can carry it home again. So that's my thought process. With Ottoman, what I've learned from the last game is that I do want to be more aggressive towards the natives and not go split as much, so split my attention too much and not lose my game plan which I have in mind to achieve things which will not be game deciding for me. So for example, winning this area here in the first minutes against Dan is not something which would have helped me win the game. So I would just avoid this and focus all my attention here. And one thing I also learned is that I don't want to use don't want to delete 80 villagers. I think I can achieve the same thing with only deleting 50 villagers. And so basically I will have 15 hustlers, but my economy is not quite as devastated. And I can recover even if my push goes bad. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, but the booming so far is pretty normal. I'm just getting 3 TCs, getting all the mosque upgrades. I don't think I forgot anything, so this boom actually looks pretty good. And I think from execution wise, booming was decent of me this game. So I don't have a few more. I could talk about his deck maybe. So this is basically a pretty standard Russian deck. There are two things which are kind of debatable. So distributism, which gives you a small wood trickle, is the first one, and the second one is the 7 cav archers. So this wood trickle is doesn't give you the biggest of benefits. I think there are, but I don't know what other cards you would use. So, and I just know that this is usually not in most decks. And the 7 cav archers is also something most people wouldn't use. The main drawback with this unit is you generally don't want to make cav archers. And also it costs 14 pop to send this card. So you do need to wait a bit until it arrives. So those are the two drawbacks for this card. So most people use 300 wood instead, or 300 coin or something. But then again, this is a huge value card. You do get 7 times 16 or 160 resources. And so I won't do math on stream, but you get the idea. It's a huge... You get a huge value out of this card. Way more than 300 resources. Okay, so... I'm just going to pause this here for a moment. Okay, so welcome back. So what happened? I forgot one factory on bombards. So I do have 10 bombard cannons now, which is 5 more than I would like to have, to be honest. And also one more thing, which I'm going to mention now. Of course, I'm going to forget my Huss upgrade again, like it's good old tradition. One more thing, I do think that... So this time it's a lot more obvious what I want to do. I just want to push through here and march into here. I should have also put more units here, and especially some Huss to bypass this and kill those villagers here. And especially deny at least this trading post from going up. And yeah, but other than that, he knows exactly what's coming. He anticipated the will delete from the start. He also told me that he did do that, so that's why he also picked Russia. And now I'm just going to send everything in. You will also just see me walking all my bombards in. So like... And then I'm just going to delete those horse art. I mean, it looks stupid, but to be honest, like, all in all, I think out of that bad start, like, I didn't want to have 10 heavy bombards, and I still think I got more value out of, or the most value I could have expected out of them. So like, 4 are still alive, and all his cannons are dead, so he had 6 culverins and 3 horse art. So those trades went pretty good. One thing I also forgot, of course, is the battlefield construction card. I would have loved to get this out earlier, so I'm lacking the supply routes, I guess, and I can't push through here. I also didn't manage to deny any bases going up here, so this push is basically put on hold, mainly because my reinforcements take too long to move in. Those units have to take a long walk around. This mortar is deleting my few bases I do have in the front, and he's also having natives now. He's just a bit faster with everything, so replenishing his units, getting his bases up. And so this push comes on hold here, and I figure, okay, this is probably not a position I can win the game in. So I will start to put up walls here, and here, and here, and here, and everywhere basically. And my game plan for this, just spam Janissaries into his infantry just to delay it. I'm not expecting to trade well here, just want to buy enough time so I get my bases up here, get a good position, and then my game plan becomes... So my initial game plan was to rush this position, maybe overwhelm him, but I realized, okay, that's not working, so I switched to defend here, get a good defensive position here, and maybe try to outlast Russia. I think Ottoman can trade well against them, just because you have better artillery. You do have more cost efficient musketeers. The skirmishers are not really threatening from Russia, I think. So strelets are not good units in general. The only thing which is really good for, or which Russia does have the advantage, is that the cavalry is better. So Cossacks are really strong, and of course they can train the units way faster. The natives are better because they can train them faster. So with Ottoman, the natives take forever to train. You can also see it here, but my natives are just chilling here. And yeah, at this point I just wait until my bases get up in the back. And I mean, I sacrificed a bit of economy, but if you look at the time, at 45 maximum, I'm back at 99 villagers, or at 46. So I don't think it's too bad. And I think it's still winnable, I think. Like, I sometimes think so. From this position, could I win against Bursa players? And the answer is obviously yes. So I mean, yes, I'm in a disadvantaged position. But against worse players, I can easily come back here. So that's why I think, okay, let's just give it a try and try our best to increase our win chances. I go back here now. Now it's obvious what I want to do. I want to regroup here, get my Imperial Bombards. By the way, I'm also using my factories for Bombards and not using the Nizam Fusiliers, and not using the Infinite Bombard card. I know this is controversial. I think, especially in 101, like, how long are they going to take to walk from here to here? And is this time from here to here more or less the time it takes your shipment to arrive? And I think it's less. I'm pretty sure it's less. It's less than 30 seconds, which they take from here to here. And so it is better to use the factory to produce heavy bombards. I also got some decent shots out with my caverns here, actually. Also another advantage. So usually you wouldn't be able to get out bombards now. You would only get bombards out once you have sent all the other cards. You typically wouldn't want to send bombards now. But because I use my factories, I can have bombards now, which normal Ottoman players wouldn't have. And also, what infinite card do I have instead? I do have 9 Fusiliers. Fusiliers, for those who don't know, they are probably one of the best musketeer. So they do extra damage against infantry. And so if you have some Fusiliers mixed into your Janissary mass, they will just outtrade every musketeer composition. So they do have a similar DPS as Skirmisher. So, oh man, those annoying caverns, they did so much. And I think if I can keep this fight in this position, like, I would have to build up some towers here, maybe some towers here, maybe get some more walls here to deny this flank here going in. Then I still think this game is winnable for me at this point. Like, I would have to stop losing so many caverns against him. He's also starting to split push, that's why you see some mistakes being made on both sides. I think Ottoman can deal pretty well with split pushes, just because Janissaries are a good unit. You also have Abu guns, which are also decent. So yeah. So, but I really need to get out those walls here and here, get some more caverns, maybe even get some more foundries in case I lose those. What's also missing from me here, I think he sniped my stable here at the start, and during the game I always wondered, where is my stable? Why don't I have a stable on this side? This is also, like, from feeling in the game, it's also what really hurt me here. This time I finally got some good Hussar flank. Of course there's still guard Hussar for no reason, so that's also bad. So my Hussars are worse than his Cossacks by costing 25% more and also 1 population more, so that's always a bad thing if you forget your Imperial upgrade. So I think you're getting, like, my frequent mistakes are so annoying. They annoy me so hard. yeah, just something I do need to do better. And also he like you can see his Calvary micro. So Zivearia has one of the best calf micros in the entire game. I would say my calf micro is better than most, so I can hold off most people pretty long just because I can snipe their cannons. But against Civ, his calf micro is just a bit better than me, and also those hussars. Stop it! Make the Imperial upgrade. At least I got this wall up here. I'm losing my artillery foundries here, but with Ottoman you do need one. You need more artillery foundries than one with all civilizations. But with Ottoman especially you do need more, because sometimes you just need to make Abu guns, and Abu guns are being made in the foundries, so that's why you need more. And this, like, usually Huss, I mean, you don't want them to fight musketeers, but against Russian musketeers, Imperial Hussars, they do kill them eventually, although not cost efficiently, but sometimes, or they will at some point just overrun them. This is also really annoying that he got a shot out there. Like, it's oh, that was a great shot. Like, it's always like it's the small things which in some just make this game look one-sided. So Civ is just is doing all the small things better than me, and in the end it adds up being so that it is, or it looks one-sided. Yeah, I know, I watched the stream and a lot of people were unsure about the forward factory here and the bombard cannon from the factory. I still think like the math checks out. You're creating the most resources if you use your factory to produce bombards. The walking time isn't bigger than if you would send it per card, so you're also not blocking too much of your population. And the Nizams are just also really powerful, so I also like to have them. I think they are enablers, so in late game fights if you have some Nizams in your army, they make it so you're trading just like against this army. Janissary Nizams, they would just trade way better. Of course I still would need to win the Kyle fight, which I'm not at this point. I'm struggling, so I didn't get my wards up here. This forest is also hurting me. He breached this position, and I don't think I can take it back. I do have some population here, so this might also be why this is happening. My natives, I'm also not using my natives or replenishing them as fast as I could. So yeah, he's just pressing really hard and I have trouble to keep my army up. I can't keep my artillery alive. That's also the main issue. He can keep his artillery alive. I really can't. And at this point it's also like here, like it's the small things here. A gate is missing, then they would have to walk here, take forever. Then I didn't have a second foundry here, so I couldn't keep producing artillery here in the middle to keep his mortars in check. And without having the mortars in check, I'm just losing my bases here. And now this game is over anyway, so at this point this game is 100% over. I will never be able to take back 4 natives once she secures that position. So some people said, yeah, wow, now your forward factory made you lose the game, but at this point this game is lost anyway, and it's just the fundamentals and the mechanics of Zivearia are just better than mine. And so he out-traded me and he out-pushed me, mainly because his artillery pieces got better trades, or he kept them alive better. and he kept his population up more. I think that were the main issues for me. Of course, the guard hussars, which I still have, they also really don't help, especially considering how many huss I already made in this game. So yeah, but then again, I played a lot more games against him. So here sorry to finish this game off maybe first. So just look at the stats of those guys. So they have 47 times 3 infantry. So they do 150 damage to all infantry. To skirmishers, to strelets. So they are 3-shotting those guys. So they have higher damage than skirmishers. So just think about it. While also they do have more HP in all regards than skirmishers. They also can take cannon volleys a lot better than skirmishers. They repel cavalry a lot better than skirmishers. The only thing they are worse at is in direct skirmisher fights. So maybe. I think they out DPS skirmishers anyway. So I don't know why. So I think this unit is great, and if I would have like stabilized here and get to the point where I just spam them and force the artillery fight to take place here, then I think I might have a shot at winning this game. But then again, like I said, I just made too many mistakes, and he... Like, if you're playing against a better player, you can't afford to make as many mistakes as you do. Like against Torie, I can afford to make some mistakes and still win the game, but not against Zivearia. And one more thing, so after that I played against Civ, and I played against him again in a just fun matchup, I guess. And I picked my French against him, and I also just lost in, I think, 1 hour or something, 1 hour and 5. He walked over me, and that's mainly, it's just his mechanics are better, and his especially his artillery micro is a bit better, and he's keeping them alive better than me. So even though French is kind of a counter to Russia, I couldn't stop him. So I think it's like saying that the strategy is shit just because you lose against a player which you cannot win, or which you don't win anyway if you have the better odds from the start. It's like the wrong place to improve, I think. So that's why I think my strategy was fine. Just the execution was not good enough. So like getting out walls here. At the start I couldn't keep my population up. I was too late building bases up here. I built way too less walls here. I stopped building towers here. I missed artillery foundry. And I also did miss my hussar. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's the main idea. So I think he also traded way better than me. It's also, I mean, I have a bit better KD, but against Russia you want to have a way better KD. And he has double the resources still in his bank. So, okay, so that's all there is to say about this game. And next game will be against Galactica, and yeah, see you guys soon. Okay, so welcome back. This time I'm playing against Galactica. This is a French mirror. So Galactica is pretty good with his French. He's also known for walling up the map and just playing in one spot, and he's also pretty strong at that. And yeah, so my thought process was, or I was hoping for a Sweden mirror. So my go-to civilizations in this tournament usually were Ottoman, French and Sweden, and he banned Sweden, so I banned Spain, and I knew it was going to be a French mirror, but I think I can win it, or I thought I can win it, and so that's why I took that. So I'm personally more comfortable with playing civilizations I know than counterpicking, so I went for that. So generally, what are my thought process of going into this mirror match? So let me show you my deck. So I didn't change my deck. I'm going for economic. So my deck is pretty standard for the most part, except I'm not having in the 4 cuirassiers, and I also don't have the thoroughbred card, which decreases the cost of cuirassiers, and instead I do have Northwestpassage, which increases the gather rate of your villagers by around 5%, especially on mills and estates, because they walk around on mills and estates around 70% or around 30% of the time. They're only gathering 70% of the time, roughly. So if you can decrease the 30% by a bit, you will have more gathering, basically. I quickly talk about the map. So of course I get lucky and I have one less hunt. I don't think it matters too much. What would be nice usually is the hunt is here, so you don't have to walk too much. So it's a bit annoying, but honestly it shouldn't matter too much. During the booming, I was ahead 4 villagers for some time. But at some point, for some reason, he caught up, and he also has more resources than me all the time, because he has distributism, and I think his execution is just a little bit better than me, so his boom is going a bit better than mine. Overall though, it's going pretty similarly, so going for the same ideas, and yeah, so I don't know, maybe he has just less walking time. Yeah, it's actually pretty close, but at some point it will go away a bit faster. So now enough talking about the booming, let's see the difference in decks. So he has the thoroughbreds, he doesn't have the natives. He also has distributism instead of Northwestpassage. And he also doesn't have the second native upgrades. So why do I skip the thoroughbreds? So with French, I know this is controversial, but I skip this card, especially on Andes. I think the Huss are also decent enough at their job, and I would rather have another native card, because I want to have 45 or 46 natives out on the map all the time, and that's much more important to me than having a bit cheaper cuirassiers, which I only, even if I would make them, I wouldn't want to make as many usually. So I thought, okay, let's just skip it all together, go for the natives and go for the Huss. So also another advantage of the Hussars is you can insta click them. So if you have a stable and you have the upgrade in this upgrade here, you can insta train them, and cuirassiers still need some time to train, so that's also an advantage over the cuirassiers. And the other thing is that they are not as coin heavy, even so cuirassiers, even with the thoroughbreds card, cost like 130 coin and food, and you are gathering food much faster than coin, which means my 120 food and 80 coin hussars are a lot cheaper than they seem on paper, even with the upgrade. So yeah, so in the long run you will run out of coin eventually with French, because you go for a fair trade strategy, so you get around 90 to 100k food, and then you exchange all your food into coin, and then you play until the coin runs out, and once the coin runs out and you have to transition to estates, then you are losing a lot of momentum. And yeah, so I want to delay that as far as I can by using less coin, and one way to do it is by trading huts instead of cuirassiers. So that's basically all there is to it. I know it's controversial, everyone thinks cuirassiers are still the best unit, or the best cover in the game, but they received so many nerfs. This card also got a nerf, that they are really balanced, and I think it's an option to go for hussars at least. Also, one more thing, so I think they also have per population more HP, so hussar do have more HP per population than gendarmes, not by much, but a little bit. And they also do have, like on single target, they do have more damage. So that means if you want to use your huss to pick up cannons, they are even better than gendarmes. And that's what I often do with my hussars. So the things I do with my hussars is I want them to soak up as much skirmisher fire, so I just send them in and let them die basically. They get 2 or 3 hits off anyway, so whatever, it's not why I make them. And I also make them to snipe cannons if they're exposed. And both of these things they're doing good enough, so I think they are decent. So okay, one more thing. So he just, for some reason, he has like 2k food more. I think I know the reason, to be honest. So, let's see, can I Galacticas? So he made 10 mills, and if you look at the mills, he has 7 on all the mills, and I do have only 7 mills and 10 on all mills. So that's I think that's a mistake by me in hindsight. I don't know why I didn't make more. Usually I make at least 8. So I should have made at least 9. So usually you want to have 10 on wood still, even if you're going for trade. So you have 60 something, yeah, let's say 70 villagers, and you want to have 7 on each mill, so you build 10 mills, essentially. That's what he has. Yes, that's what he has. The Galactica really thought about it. Yeah, okay. One more thing also. So next time I will also do that. One more thing. So Galactica is also really known for his French. So I think his French are one of his best civilizations, and he's also most comfortable on them. So yeah, my banning game, like I could have maybe. So I banned Spain and he banned Sweden. I would have preferred to play Sweden, it's because I think I'm better with musketeer heavy compositions than with skirmisher type compositions, and that's why I prefer Sweden over French. But so far I've also played decent with French, I think, in this tournament or in my practice games. So I also thought, okay, I should be able to take it. And also like from playing against Galactica like a month ago, I think I would have beaten him 9 out of 10 times. So my idea was still that I'm in a straight up matchup, if we do have the same odds or the same foundations or the same odds, I would say, then I thought I should be able to win. And even I think my strategy with going nuts heavy, so I also think that I do have the advantage strategy wise, so it comes all down to execution, and so far he's executing better. I'm also usually not too worried if I have like 3k resources less. Oftentimes the skill difference is so big that it doesn't matter. Yeah, so okay, so ideally I wanted to have a Sweden mirror, but I couldn't get that, so I could have also banned French because I know it's the strongest civilization, but I also only really practice French, Sweden and Ottomans, and I don't think my Ottomans can win against Spain, so yeah, so that's also not good. So I could have also tried to go Portuguese, but I also like practiced them 1 or 2 times. So my idea was, okay, I just go for civilization, which I practice, and if everything goes according to plan or somewhat according to plan, then I should be able to take it. So he has 4k resources more, even though I have 1 more upgrade, so this is actually a huge, like 7 villagers on mills do make a huge difference, apparently, or not a huge, but a noticeable difference. And yeah, so in a mirror match, it's always who does less mistakes, because typically you don't have like a civilization advantage or something. So if it's somewhat evenly matched, then eventually the player who does less mistakes wins. So for example, the player who has a better artillery fight, or like he has a slightly better boom, like not much, but like he traded at, like we are at the same, we traded the same amount of coin only, so I'm half a minute behind him basically, and that's only or mainly because he only has 7 villagers per mill. Okay. He's transitioning. Transitioning. I'm also transitioning a lot more villagers to wood. So from my practice games, I usually run out of wood pretty fast if I don't do like 20 villagers on wood. He only stays with 11, so I honestly wonder how that works out. Like he should run out of wood, I think. Interesting. So maybe he has all the upgrades already. Do I miss a wood upgrade? Or is it maybe it's the distributism card which makes this huge difference? So 136, 136. Do I have my market upgrades? Nope. Did I forget them again? That would be bad, because I tend to forget the market upgrades. So like some upgrades I always forget. Okay, so what my thought process is also, I'm going to use the mantlets here. So they are not costing any population. So I don't care if I forget them. To just not let cross any villagers on my side of the map. Oh, he also broke half map, by the way. This Buttercup. Oh no, he's going back. I thought I got another easy win. So let's put this on normal speed. So my idea, I often forget those units, which I position there so to avoid getting flanked heavily, or some villager building up a wall on my side. So I like to use the natives, because if I forget them, it doesn't matter too much. Just because I'm not sending them again until way later in the game. So also, one difference we have here, or one big difference, he made Culverins, while I didn't make any Culverins. I'm just making Imperial Horse Guns. So my idea usually is, why do I never go Culverins? So I'm happy if they get out 2 or 3 shots, and because he has units which don't contribute to the main fight anyway much, I can overwhelm this force here basically even after my cannons are dead. Like if they get 2 or 3 shots out, my infantry mass is going to win against his infantry mass, and then my husk can just go in and kill those guys. So that's usually my thought process, and it tends to work out decently. Like he also shot my infantry. Like I'm shooting the cavalry, which is not good, obviously. Yeah, but they are getting way more value than the caverns, I think. Yeah, so I wanted to get my bases up, and here the mistakes start already, I think. Like, do you see that? Now my infantry mass just beats this infantry mass, and if I made Hus instead of goons, I would have been able to just walk over these units. But my base layout is bad already. These are very bad walls, by the way. So I don't know how that happened. And here you want to have some space in between. You typically want a stable here, and you want more walls here, more walls here. I don't have an artillery foundry yet. That's the next thing here. So I felt like I slept during the start of the fight basically, and yeah, maybe in hindsight it would have been the better decision to use the mantlets, because then I 100% crushed this fight. But I still think even with my start, I could have been able to just wipe this if I made Hus instead of goons. But I was busy microing on other flanks. So the start fight, like I think normally those 5 cavalry shouldn't stay alive. And yeah, so he won the start fight. He killed 8 horse artillery of me already. My reinforcements were way too late. Like I'm at 140 pop and he's at 200. Even though the start fight went kind of similarly. So he's in a better spot already. And his base layout is also better. He got some walls out here. He got a base up here. This wall is not good. I made some howitzers here to deny this. Honestly, I think I also shouldn't have done that. Or at least only use one. And yeah, so now we're into the cavalry fight. Here's still his 5 cavalrons. My cavalrons are shooting the units, so I think I'm just writing down how many cannons I lost and how many cannons I killed of him. So now I lost 9 already and killed 1. Let me see. Okay, sorry. So I killed 2 cannons and I lost the 8 from the start, 2 cavalrons. So killed 2 cannons and I lost 10 already. So that's really bad. I lose 3 another, like this shot. He got way too much value with these 5 cavalrons already. So these should have been dead 2 minutes ago, but they killed. They killed 13 cannons already. That should just make. And now I can't use my horse artillery because he has the artillery supremacy. I have to wait until my cavalrons get out again, and then I can finally, hopefully, get a good trade. But now the melee units are already too far forward, so I'm just making. And again, like look at this, look at these bad shots I take. So another one I lost, and I didn't. 2. Now I finally start cleaning up the cavalrons. I think I cleaned them up. Yes, I cleaned them up. But I lost 15 cannons while he only lost 5 cannons. So that's really bad of me. Very bad execution. Shouldn't happen. You should not lose 3 times the amount of cannons to just 5 cannons. And but other than that, I think I got the champion upgrade. So at least I've got that going for me this time. I killed a mortar, lost 3 more cannons. So I killed. And this one mortar is still alive. So now more caverns are coming. Honestly, I think if I can, as long as I can keep my horse artillery firing. So I killed another one and I lost another one. Another one, I lost another one. And I lost 2 mortars, I think, there. So again, he has 5 caverns. I do have 5 horse artillery now here. They're in a decent spot, so they force all this infantry to go back. And he can't really go there because his units are blocking him, so he can't really shoot them. I moved him back way too far and lost another cavern by the way. Two more caverns? Or were there 3 caverns? I don't even know. But I killed one, I guess. So here another bad trade for me. So he still has 4 caverns alive. I lost another one. Oh god, that's so painful. I think my cavern micro is decent usually. But this game, holy Jesus. That was bad. I finally get some caverns out on this side. My idea is you always want to have some caverns on both sides so you can flank a bit and you can keep... Oh no, finally get one. And I lose another one. So 2-2. I lose another one. He lost another one. And yeah, now my Huss are coming here. And with gendarmes you really couldn't do it like this. So this Huss swarm is tracking those skirmishes here. I mean, gendarmes would clean them up also, but they would take longer to pop. Did I lose another cannon? I think I did. So I lose 2 more cannons, I think. Oh no, he's not. Finally, I'm killing one again. Now he's making mortars again. Let's quickly look at the resources. So his food is looking a lot better. He has also 10 more villages on food. I for some reason ran out of wood. It's maybe because I lose so many cannons, so that might be the issue. Yeah. Also because maybe he has more skirmishers, so my natives die faster. I killed a cannon, by the way, and I lost 2 and 3, 4. So again, did you see it? I killed another cannon, but it's like I'm losing double the amount of cannons that I kill, despite making more cannons. So here, nice, I finally killed a cannon. Lose another cannon. Have to go back because I don't have any cannons anymore, and he has the infantry mass. I do have too many goons here at the moment, I think. Shouldn't make too many goons. My positioning is also not really good. Like they're all up here. Oh nice! I finally got some good shots here. So I killed 3, and I lose 1, I think. Yes, I lose 1. So finally, like this was the first time I actually traded decent in this game with the caverns. I kill one again. Yeah, I finally kill one again. And now you can actually see, like, if you win the card micro, and if you manage to keep some cannon supremacy, you actually can push back your enemy. So at this point, I finally got a decent, I got a decent cannon trade for the first time in this entire game, and even though my cannons trade like shit, we are still now at the same kind of points. He has a bit more resources. Okay, he has 6k more resources. But I finally can push him back a bit and get a decent engagement while he's running back. Remember, he has some towers here, so this isn't actually as good as it looks, so also well played by him. At this moment, I use this ability, so you see these guys finally coming back, and also these mortars I made at the start. I made them to destroy this barracks, but I forgot about them, so also a very good investment by me. And yeah, here my positioning is again really bad. This wall is annoying me, really. I should use my villager to get up a wall here. This would really help me. So his cavalry flanks are not as bad. And yeah, so I finally want to. I should also stop suiciding my units. Yeah, but finally I think I'm catching up in resources a little bit. So I think it's okay at this point. At this point I think I was in a decent position. I could still take it if I start trading better with my artillery. And yeah, so I think that's the most important thing in treaty in general. It's often like who loses more artillery pieces, or who can keep them alive longer. I should really stop sending my units there, and I realize it. But I lost so many units for no reason, because they want to attack this tower. Again, I lose a Cavalry. I lose a Cavalry for no return. I lose another Cavalry. So 2 more dead for me. And the Cavalry from him are again. Now I finally get a return. Like, do you see those Cavalry? They are all low HP. I don't know how I couldn't finish them. Like, how do you even get them to this low HP? Now I lose another 2, I think. Yeah, great. Another 2 dead Cavalry. They also go to the graveyard. And now I lost. Like, we had around the same amount of Cavalry. I killed 1, he killed 5. And now I have to go back again. I have to lose another mortar dead. Now my horse artillery, which I made, are also getting shot at. Another horse artillery dead. Not good. Oh, another 2 Cavalry dead. So that's what happened. 3 Cavalry. Did I at least get a return on his Cavalry? Now finally I killed 2, but with my Huss guys. So so again, he made like 8 Cavalry and he killed 8 Cavalry of me, and I think 2 more horse artillery dead. And now my horse artillery are useless. And we basically invested the same, but the artillery micro made all the difference. So I have to train Cavalry again. I have to go back here again. And yeah, that doesn't really feel good to go back now. I finally have to. Again, I get a shot here in the face before shooting. Finally I get, like, did you see it? Like, those were 2 shots going there, but for some reason this Cavalry didn't die. And so I kill 2 now, and I kill 4 now. Finally I get a decent trade. So and he has no return, so he should have to go back again. So finally so I think the longer the game goes, the more decent my artillery micro becomes, but then again I run out of chances, because like I can't can't continue to trade as bad as I do for extended period of time. I also think that he has more skirmishers than me, and they are generally, they do more damage. Here I type stuff because I pressed enter and then the chat opens, and yeah, so I wonder why I can't train units. So again, 2 for 1. So I lost 2, 3, and I killed 2. I don't know how I didn't click that here, so I'm losing another one. Again, 2 more cannons dead. Those Coverins really should have been dead by now from Galactica. And if he's getting this Coverin... Oh, at least he doesn't get this. Like here I trained too many goons, I think. I shouldn't have made that many goons. Maybe I should have made more musketeers like he does. So I think his infantry heavy unit composition just beats my goon heavy composition here. Because the goons do more damage against cavalry, but not against infantry. So yeah, so those are not units I want to have on the field when I fight infantry. So this is another issue. So his unit composition is just slightly better. And I would need horse artillery to beat this unit composition. But because I'm not able to get the artillery supremacy, I can't really make the artillery I need to beat his infantry. And look at this, he's just suiciding a good bunch of his units just to deny this wall going up. In the game I was wondering, what did he misclick, but no, it was absolutely intentional. So again, here I lose 2 Coverins, no return. So 2 more dead Coverins. And I think this mortar is also dead. And now we do have the same number. That's so bad. Those are unpacking, those are packing. I don't know. Like I lost 6 there, I think, or I lost count. I think I lost 4 more, so and I killed like 3 or 4. But again, he has the low HP. I think I only killed 2 so far. And now I make a lot of goons again. I don't think I should have made the goons. I think I should have made Huss here. I did misjudge in the heat of the moment how much anti-cav he has. He has only like a few of those Guaminkas. So Huss would have been way better. They would have tanked way more shots. And generally I think I should have just avoided goons 80% of the time. Like I should have just made musketeers. So now finally I get two more Coverins, and now I get 1 for 1. But I think it's 3 for 1 in the end. And maybe I can save it. So 1 for 1 so far. Nope. Again, for some reason his Coverin locked in already, and so it's dead. My hopes and dreams. Like, I don't know how he managed to keep them at like 47 HP. How does that happen all the time? Like again, those 47 HP Coverins kill another Coverin of me, so again it's like 2 for 1, but they should have been dead in the first place. Now I finally kill some of his horse artillery, at least 1. I lose 2 horse artillery in the process though. And yeah, now I finally run out of resources. I'm losing 1 for 1 again. 1 for 1. No, I killed 2 more. Yeah, this finally was decent, but because I lost too many caverns before and traded made too many goons, I spent too much food in the process, and so I can't keep my population at 200, and so I have to abandon this position. I realize now I need horse artillery, and retreating is always bad in this game. So if I got out these earlier, and I also shouldn't have made those goons. Like, I think if I just never made goons in this game, I would have probably been better off. If I just made musketeers instead, and went for hussars when I tried to do goons, that would have been a lot better, I think. But those horse artillery finally cleaned up the infantry. But I'm here at the... I'm out of resources, he still has a lot more resources than me. I think I lost 4 cannons again. I would have to write that down. So I lost 4 more cannons. I think they did their job finally. But it's a bit too late. I want to get out my towers here. Also, if you look at his villages... Oh no, he has more on food than I do. And I have more on wood. So that's also partly because I have to make more artillery pieces. So I can't have as many on food, so I can't keep my population up. And now I'm losing my ground again here. Maybe I get a decent shot now. Oh, this could have been a double kill. Oh, this is a double kill, nice. 2 for 1. Again here, this time both, or at least 2 cavalry should have been dead. But I again lose 3, I think 4 for 4, but I'm not 100% sure. And yeah, so I want to hold this position. If I get all these towers up, I maybe can hold this position. Because fighting under towers is generally not something you want to do. Also, like, I think if I stabilize now, or if I stabilize at some point, I should be able to just take it home. Because my long-term plan is better, because my natives are stronger, I do have the Huron mantlets. And I should have the better economy with the Northwestpassage. Finally I start to push back a little bit. I kill... Oh god, it's so triggering me. How does he always get double kills? So I kill... I lose 2, 3, and I killed 3. Here, 1 more dead. 1 more dead. So yeah, but I'm out of resources. I can't keep my population up, and this means the fight is never going to look good for me if my population can't keep up. So I can't protect my cannons the way I want to. Yeah, I think I just made... So the 2 main mistakes I made, like I will give you the number on how many artillery pieces. So this game is over now. So I'm just going to speed it through. So I will give you the number on how many artillery pieces I lost versus how many I killed. This was the first big issue for me, so I couldn't win the artillery fight at all. Like, I just traded horrific all game long, especially at the start. And the second big mistake of me was just making way too many goons. I should have made way more infantry, didn't have much horse artillery out throughout the game, so just spamming cavalry, skirmisher, and I would have traded decent, I think, but I didn't do that. And yeah, I mean, I could count these artillery pieces, but now it's over anyway. But the natives broke my position, broke my eco, so it's over. And yeah, so because he killed so many artillery pieces, I couldn't keep up some horse guns all the time to keep his infantry in check. so his infantry just was better than mine. Let me pause real quick, then I give you the number on how many artillery pieces I lost versus how many I killed. Okay, so I mean, I can give you a few moments to guess the number, how many artillery pieces I killed and how many I lost, at least until the moment I lost this position here. In the meantime, I don't think my Huss were the problem. I still think they were decent. I think I just made too many goons in my unit composition. And yeah, I made too many goons. I made not enough skirmishers and musketeers. And I should have kept a few more horse guns alive. But as long as the enemy has culverins, you can't really use them. So if you want to use your normal artillery, you have to win the culverin fight. So and back to this, how many artillery pieces I lost versus how many I killed. So I killed 38 artillery pieces and I lost 81. Of course I might have missed a few, and it's perfectly possible. But I counted as best as I could, and I just lost double the amount of artillery pieces, and this is just the main reason I lost this game. I maybe had too many on wood, but the main thing was that I lost too many artillery pieces. So even if I made gendarmes, or even if I made any other unit composition, if you lose double the cannons in treaty, you pretty much always lose the game. So I think the cannon micro wasn't the best of me in this game. Like, I think I can do better cannon micro. Like, this wasn't the worst cannon micro of me, but it was below average for me personally, I think. And the next thing I can easily improve is making 10 mils and just sending 7 on them. And yeah, I think if I stabilize, like even if I lose 60 cannons or 80 cannons and I kill 60 of them or 70, I think I would win then. So if my unit composition, if I didn't mix in as many goons, and if I would only have lost or if I would have killed 70 or 60 artillery pieces with my 80 artillery pieces, then I think I would have won eventually, because my natives are stronger. I do have access to the Hurons, which are really strong in the fight. They soak up a lot of damage, and yeah, so I should have been able to eventually push him, but not if you lose so much artillery. Okay, so this is my analysis of the game. So if you're wondering, I will probably put part 1 in the title just to not spoiler this game. So there won't be coming any more videos for me to this tournament. I think the tournament all in all was pretty fun to play. I don't play it really too much, so I was experimenting a lot. And I also think I could have progressed a bit farther. I think Galactica is actually one of the stronger opponents I could have faced in the lower bracket. So I expect him to go. I don't think if he can beat Daniel, but I expect him to beat Tenna. And yeah, so fun games overall. I hope you enjoyed this kind of video. And yeah, just let me know in the comments what you think. What do you think about treaty? Have you played it? Do you like treaty matches? Is there something different I should approach this kind of content? I think it's interesting to put in my thoughts and what I think went wrong and what went right, so I can learn from it for the next game. So that's why I speed up through a few games where it was pretty one-sided. This game was a bit one-sided, but it was one-sided against me. And I think I've pointed out the main reasons for that long enough. So have a good evening and see you guys around. Bye bye!